The student wants to introduce Catherine Herberson's book to an audience already familiar with the Atlantic Monthly. Just be careful that you have a magazine that's italicized, but in here, in line 2, you're going to see Atlantic Monthly in quotation mark. Okay, so they are not the same thing. I mean, they refer to this refers to the magazine, but this is really specifically to the historical magazine. But what's important here is already familiar. Okay, so if we talk too much about this Atlantic Monthly magazine, then we want to eliminate that choice. Alright, so the Atlantic Monthly magazine was first published in 1857. The magazine focused on politics, art, and literature. In 2019, historian Catherine Helberson published the book Faraway Woman in the Atlantic Monthly. So here she is. It talk about introduce Catherine's book. So we need to mention this book with a title. So if you look at the choice A, Catherine Helberson's Faraway Woman and the Atlantic Monthly, so there is a title. So that one is good so far. B, a magazine called, okay, it only talk about magazine, so it's not really talking about the book. Okay, even if it does, the book's title is not mentioned. And based on the sentence structure, it's focusing more on the Atlantic Monthly magazine that was published in 1857. Okay, so that became the core. But we need to introduce Catherine Haberson's book instead. So B can be eliminated. Choice C does talk about this title. It features a contributor to the Atlantic Monthly, first published. Okay, so it said audience already familiar, but if you continue with the comma and add this additional information, the non-essential elements, then this actually goes against our intended or our intention to an audience already familiar with the magazine. So by adding this makes C a not good answer. Choice D, an author discussed by Catherine Helberson is Juanita Harrison, whose autobiography appeared in the Atlantic Monthly. Okay, this Juanita Harrison is actually part of the person who were interviewed or who had an autobiography in Atlantic Monthly in the early 1900s, but this doesn't really introduce Catherine Herberson's book Faraway Woman in the Atlantic, and that's not mentioned here, so you can safely eliminate choice D. So we have a title here, and this describe or introduce what this is. Female author whose autobiography appeared, and then it talk about the time frame. So that's a good introduction for readers to get familiar, the time frame and also the title and what this book is about. So A is a good answer. And it did not talk much about the magazine at all. In fact, it didn't even talk about it, and that's good.